Hey everybody, welcome to this month's question of the month. If you've got a question, go to yoganatomy.com/myquestion. I'll get to it as soon as I can, answer it on video, just like I'm doing today. This question comes from Jody. I was wondering if you could help me figure out knee pain that I get when doing backbends. When I do camel and sometimes wheel, I can get knee pain in my outer knee. Any ideas about where this comes from would be helpful. All right, Jody, I'll do my best. You know, as always, if I don't see you practicing, can't ask you questions, unfortunately. It always makes it a little bit more complicated, so as you guys know, if you watch these, I tend to stay on the vaguer side. You have to stay open to many possibilities. Let me start with backbends. In general, and this is something I've seen many times, of course we want our feet to be straight. That's the ideal. But your foot, in case anybody out there forgot, is connected through the ankle and your tibia, shin, to your knee, which, as it turns out, is connected to the hip. So you always go back to the root, in essence, or you look at least the whole chain. When you do that, you want to have the femurs and knees, therefore, where the knees are pointing, lined up with the feet. So many times I've seen the knees wide. This is a whole other conversation about backbending. I do a whole workshop on that. When the knees are wide and the feet are turned in, I often find people end up with outer knee pain. Or it comes, they have outer knee pain when they lift up into their back bend, and I look at them and they're turning their feet straight, but their knees are pointed out because their hips are tight, their glutes are turned on, their hip flexors are tight, lots of reasons for that. And that can cause outer knee pain. I'm not sure that's what's going on for you specifically, Jody. I just thought I'd put that out there. Line your feet up with your knees and your hips is generally a good idea. Just saying. Otherwise, you're rotating from somewhere, and once the knee's bent, that rotation is happening from the knee, so that can cause stress. That's the point there. In your case, you start with camel. So I'm reading into this a little bit. When I do camel and sometimes wheel, right, I can get knee pain in the outer knee. Keep in mind that there's quadriceps. Everybody knows quadriceps. We tend to think of them as a single muscle, but there are 4 muscles there, hence the name quad. Quad is 4. So the outermost quadricep is probably where I would start, which is called Vastus Lateralis. And it could be the way you're going into it, or the amount of effort and engagement you're getting from your quadricep that's causing something to happen there. It could be a rotation there as well. It's possible. The other thing to consider, because like you say it's on your outer knee, but I don't know if it's below the knee joint. These are the questions I would ask you if I were watching you and having you point to the spot. Is it at the knee joint? Is it below the knee joint? Is it above the knee joint? That kind of stuff also makes a difference. But here's the other possibility, is tensor, fascia lata, and the iliotibial band, which could get involved in this. That could depend on how you're, if you're intentioning the internal rotation of your hips, let's say, while you do this, to hold things tight or to get, or for whatever intention or reason, that can turn on the tensor fascia lata and put tension into the IT band. And then that mixed with the contraction of vastus lateralis, which it sits on top of. Those two might be kind of stuck together a little bit. I'm just guessing, but something like that is not unreasonable to consider. So what I would do is, to try to help you figure it out, is if you're trying to do something with your legs, stop trying to do anything with your legs and let them just be themselves. Don't try to fix anything, make anything happen in any particular way, and see if the knee pain goes away. If so, that technique and intention that you have might not be the right one, or it does come back to the tissue, something's not happy, over tight, something like that, okay? When you feel it in wheel, play with turning your feet out or letting your knees go wide and see if that changes things as well, right? This is what we have to do. We have to kind of open up when we have problems like this, areas of pain. We have to explore these things, okay? We have to figure out, and then that feeds information. It doesn't mean that's the solution. It just adds more information so we can figure out what's going on. All right, Jody, I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a couple of ideas. If nothing else, I give you permission to try something different and see if it fixes it. All right? Anybody else, you got a question, you know what to do. Go to yoganatomy.com/myquestion.